You will need your math textbook today. You will need volume 2. So please grab volume 2 of your math textbook. If you cannot find your textbook or are unsure of where it is, please look at my screen and I will show you how to access it online. You will go to your Clever. You will go to Math, where it says Math Textbook. You will click. It will open up with a button that says Savas Realize. You will click on it. And then right here, you will have the book. It's in green. And you'll click on that book. And then I will tell you the page number that you're going to go to. Okay? So again, if you don't have the paper textbook, it's difficult to do it online because you have to switch back and forth between Zoom and the textbook, but it's better than not having it. You're going to go to our Clever. You're going to go to Math and click on Math Textbook. And then that will open you up to a button that says Savas Realize. When you click on it, there's a green circle that has your textbook. Okay? Everybody is going, so we're on page 506. I'm going to share my screen. As always, if I am writing, you are writing, okay? So you should be on this page right now. This page is going to be on the video that we are getting ready to watch, and this is just an example, okay? So there's no work to do on this page. It has already been done. This is just an example of what you will see in the video, okay? So you'll go ahead and take a look at this as we watch this video on Seesaw in our activity that has not been released to you yet because I don't want you working ahead. There we go. All righty.
How can you use subtraction to solve problems? Think about this question during the lesson. Mike and Linda play a game. How many more points does Linda score than Mike? Find 528 minus 341. Estimate by rounding to the nearest 10. 530 minus 340 equals 190. What information is shown in the bar diagram?
This is the number of points Linda has, 528. This is the number of points Mike has, 341. This is the number you need to find. How many more points Linda has than Mike?
The bar diagram shows the number of points that both Linda and Mike have. How do you know to subtract the number of points? The problem asks how many more points Linda has than Mike. Subtraction helps find the difference, or how many more.
You can use place value to subtract using an algorithm.
Using the standard algorithm, what place value is subtracted first?
Select your answer.
Alrighty, we know that it's not the hundreds. We know that when we subtract, we go to the ones place first.
The ones place is subtracted first. Subtract the ones. 8 ones is greater than 1 1. You do not need to regroup. 8 ones minus 1 1 equals 7 ones. Why don't you need to regroup to subtract the ones? You don't need to regroup because 8 is greater than 1. Now subtract the tens. Since 2 tens is less than 4 tens, regroup 100 into 10 tens. Why have both the 5 and the 2 in 528 been crossed out? Both the tens and the hundreds have been regrouped. 12 tens minus 4 tens equals 8 tens. Subtract the hundreds. 4 hundreds minus 3 hundreds has 187 more points. How does an estimate help you decide if an answer is reasonable? If an estimate is close to an exact answer, then the answer is reasonable. For this problem, 187 is close to the estimate 190. The answer is reasonable. Now you know how to use subtraction to solve a problem.
Okay, so this was our example of doing a skill that we have already learned together very well. We have shown pretty good mastery of subtraction. Okay, we are working through subtraction with regrouping over these next few pages. Okay, so again, this is an example. If you forget, you can come back and it will show you subtract the ones, then subtract the tens and how to do that, then subtract the hundreds and how to do that. Okay, so it will show you the different place values and the order in which you're supposed to do things. Alrighty, I am going to scoot over to this next page. You just have to turn your head to look at it. All right, at the top, we have another example. If you are feeling stuck, then you have an example here that you can read. We are going to also take a look at the guided practice together. Please remember, if I am writing, you are writing. So get those pens and pencils ready. I'm going to be writing. You'll be able to write. All right, it says in the example on page 506, that's the example that we just looked at, explain how to decide if regrouping is necessary. Well, I don't remember what page 506 looked like, so I'll have to turn my head and see. Okay, 528 subtract 341. I'm going to go ahead and write that down so that I can see if regrouping is necessary. 500, oh, I forgot again. Let's save it. 528 minus 341. Notice that I'm not just saying, oh, well, I forgot. I'm doing something about it. I'm not sending a message to my teacher that says, I forgot, I can't do it. I'm looking back at the text and saying for myself, wow, my brain's not on. 528 minus what? I gotta save it. 528 minus, oh yeah, 341. Okay, so I'm being responsible and I'm searching for my answers. Okay, so it does not ask us to solve, it says explain how to decide if regrouping is necessary. Well, I know that regrouping is necessary because when I look at my tens place, there is more on the floor. So I will say it is necessary, and if I am writing, you are writing, it is necessary because, and remember, when you're taking math notes, you can use shorthand, which is an abbreviation. B/C is short for because. So it is necessary because the tens place on top is less than the tens place on bottom. The tens place on top, and I can use my less than symbol, on top is less than the bottom. And notice I didn't run out of room and say, oh, Miss Sousa, I ran out of room. I guess I can't do my work. I just went ahead and finished my work outside of the space that they gave me in that box. And that's okay. So I'll give you a minute to catch up on that. We are working on explaining how to decide if regrouping is necessary. And we know that when there is less on the top, that we have to regroup by borrowing a place value. right, so yes, we can see that we have to regroup. Now let's check out the do you know how. This is just procedural. It says in 2 and 3, subtract. So now we're just going to subtract, and we have again shown that we're pretty good at this. 374 subtract 176. We can see in our ones place that there's more on the floor, so I'm going to have to go next door and borrow 10 more. My 7 tens is going to become 6 tens. And I'm adding that 10 to my 14, which gives me 14 ones. So we've regrouped. Again, you guys have shown that you understand this. We're just getting some practice and giving you an opportunity to ask any remaining questions. 14 subtract 6. I practiced my math facts, so I know that that's 8. If I didn't know that that's 8, I could draw myself a picture over here in my space, or I could use my fingers to go 14 minus 6, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. And I could see that I would land on 8. Okay? Now we're going to take a look at our tens place. This 7 became a 6 because we regrouped it into the ones. We have 6 tens minus 7 tens. That's impossible. So I have to regroup this again. So I'm going to borrow 100, and that's going to become 2 hundreds. And now I have 16 ones. So we have 16 ones minus 7 ones. I forget that one, so I'm going to do some math here. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Oh yes, it will be 9 tens. Again, there is no shame in using your fingers. They are on your body for a reason. Put them to good use. They are a fantastic tool to use when you are counting, and that will be able to help you be more accurate than just thinking in your head while you're still learning. Now we have 2 hundreds and we are subtracting 100. 2 hundreds subtract 100 is equal to 100. So my answer is 198. What questions can I answer about these two here? What questions can I answer? Ada, we're regrouping. Questions about how to regroup. Okay. Looking at your work over the last 2 days, I've been very impressed. We've been doing a pretty good job over all of this. So we're going to go ahead and cross out problem number 3. We just practiced problem number 1. Or number 2, I apologize. Okay. All right, on the bottom, you will see an area that says independent practice. I'm going to change these directions for you because it asks us to focus on a skill that is not in our standard. It says in numbers 4 through 11, estimate by rounding. Go ahead and cross this out. Our success target is not focusing on rounding or estimating, so we're going to focus only on the subtraction, okay? So you're just going to be finding each difference. I don't want you worrying about the rounding right now. I just want us to practice this skill. So cross out, estimate by rounding, and we're only going to work on finding the difference, okay? I'd like for you to solve the even numbered problems, okay? So we're going to do number 4. We're going to cross out number 5. We're going to do number 6. We're going to cross out number 7. We're going to do number 8. We're going to cross out number 9. We're going to do number 10. We're going to cross out number 11. Okay, so you're going to solve the even number problems. On the top, they're already set up inside of a vertical equation. On numbers 8 and 10, you'll probably want to rewrite these off to the side or underneath so that they're stacked on top of each other, remembering to line up your ones, tens, and hundreds. Okay, I'm actually going to go ahead and start a short little timer here. And we're going to time ourselves on completing these problems. If you don't have the textbook, it would be a great time for you to get a little piece of paper and write these problems down, and then you could solve them on that piece of paper. I'm going to give us about 2 minutes for each equation. Okay, so we're going to take 8 minutes to solve number 4, 6, 8, and 10. So go ahead and on your own right now, begin solving number 4, 6, 8, and 10. And you can see the timer on the screen that's going to help you pace yourself. Alrighty, that is time. I am going to put up the correct answers. Okay, I'm going to put up the correct answers. If you have a question about the answer, or maybe you got a different answer and you need to understand, please let me know. I'm only going to put up the correct answers. I'm not going to show the regrouping unless there's questions, but I want you to monitor your own learning. So let's take a look here at the correct answers and look to see if you got the same answer. It's weird, it's not letting me write down there. There we go. Alrighty, so if you are on number 4, you should have gotten the answer 286. The answer to 516, subtract 402, should have been straightforward. There's no regrouping. It's 114. Number 8, 574, subtract 86, is the answer 488. 979, subtract 569, is 410. What questions can I answer about these answers? Anybody have a different answer or have a question about why an answer was correct? Okay. Alrighty, awesome. We're going to go ahead and look at a couple of the problem solving pages, just a few. So go ahead and turn your page, please, to page 508. Turn your page to page 508. We're only going to look at a few of these. The ones that we are going to look at today are numbers 12 and 14. We're not going to look at anything else, just numbers 12 and 14. Okay, number 12. At the end of their game, Laura had 426 points and Theo had 158 points. So we know that Laura won. How many more points did Laura have than Theo? This is a how many question. I'm going to box those keywords. And we're looking for more points from Laura than Theo. Okay, so Laura has 426 points. Theo has 158. This bar diagram shows us that this much of points they had the same. This is how many more Laura had. We have to figure out how much is that. So what we do is we take 426 and we subtract the part that we already know. We know that Theo had 158. So let's write that subtraction equation. 426 subtract 158. Okay, we're going to subtract. We can see that we have 6 ones minus 8 ones. 6 ones minus 8 ones is impossible, so I have to regroup this. I'm going to add 10 more to my 6, which will give me 16 ones. And I got that from my tens place. So I'm going to take a 10 from the 2, so I only have 1 10 left, and now I have 16 ones. 16 ones minus 8. I'm not sure, so I'm going to draw a picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let's cross out the ones that we're subtracting. We're subtracting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, look at that. I have 8 left. So that equals 8 ones. 16 ones minus 8 ones is equal to 8 ones. Now I go to my tens place. I have 1 10. I need 5 tens. I don't have them, so I have to regroup. I'm going to take 100 and I'm going to make it into 10 tens. So 10 tens plus the 1 10 that I already have is 11 tens, and I have 3 hundreds. 11 tens minus 5 tens is 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 6 tens. Now I have 300s minus 100. There's more on top, so I don't need to stop. So I can just put my answer. So Laura scored 268 more points. And this is a word problem. So remember, I need a word in my answer, because if you don't put the word, I'm going to assume you're talking about purple unicorns flying through space, which makes me very happy, but makes you very wrong. So make sure when you have a word problem, you put a word in your answer. Let's look at number 14. We're quickly running out of time. I want to make sure we get to lunch. 14. The world's largest basket is 186 feet tall, from the base to the top of the handles. What is the height of the handles? Ooh, so look, our basket is 186 feet tall right here. The base is 103 feet. Do we see that? We need to know how many feet is the rest of the basket, which is just the handles. So this is a what question. What is the height of the handles? That's what we're looking for, the height. So we know the whole basket is 186 feet. That's our whole number. So let's record that. 186. We are subtracting what we already know. We know that the base is 103 feet, and we know that by looking at the diagram or the picture here for us. So 6 take away 3, there's more on top, so I don't need to stop. That equals 3. 8 take away 0, well, we know when we take away 0 that the number stays the same. So we would have 8 tens minus 0 tens is equal to 8 tens. Now we have 100, subtract 100. When the number's the same, we know that it's 0. So we can put an imaginary 0 here if it helps us to feel better. But we know that our answer is 83. 83 purple unicorns flying through space. Ooh, your faces don't like that. I can see on camera. No, you're right. 83 what? Ah, feet. My picture says that I'm working on feet. 83 feet. So the height of the handles is 83 feet. Okay? I'll give you a moment to finish writing that, and then we are going to talk about your assignment. Okay. You have an assignment on Seesaw today that is very similar to what we have done together. So if you get confused, you have an example page to look at, you have a notebook of notes, you have a video inside of this lesson, and you'll have the YouTube, and you'll have your textbook to look at examples. That's 5 different places you can look. On Seesaw, let me save this, you will go to your activities after lunch, and you will see an assignment that has been released to you called Lesson 9-6, Subtract 3 Digits. The directions are here for you to read or listen to. When you click on Add Response, you will see your work. There are several subtraction problems for you to work through, and you are asked to solve the problems and show your work. Some of these have boxes to show you when you're going to be regrouping. Use that to help you as a clue. Same thing on slide 2. Solve the problems, show your work. You will notice that there are some numbers missing. It starts with problems 1 and 2, and then it skips to 5 and 6. That's because I know that I don't need you to solve 100 problems to show me the same skill. So I've selected a few problems that should give you enough practice. We'll do the same thing on slide 3. You will solve the problems and show your work. So you will again probably need to write these into vertical equations so that you can show your regrouping. Number 4, same thing. Oh, look at that. Number 4 is a double. Well, look at that. I guess number 4 we will cross out. I'll send you a text about that. And then number 5, there is one word problem here for you to solve. Okay? So remember 3 and 4 is a double. I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. On number 5, you have a word problem. Please understand that if you do not show your work, I will be sending it back to you because I don't have any evidence that you didn't just use a calculator. Okay? So showing your work is what I'm looking for. That's how I understand that you know what you're doing. I know that you can get the correct answer because you have a calculator. Not interested in that. I'm interested if you know how to solve, okay? So please use your time to show your work after lunch. All right, kiddos, that is your assignment. Right now you are getting ready to go to lunch and your recess. At 12 o'clock, I will be sitting right here ready to help you with any assignments that you should need. You will be logging in to do your math work. So everyone should be on Seesaw completing their subtraction work at 12 o'clock. If you get done, you have subtraction assignments on Zern and Prodigy as always. At 1:35, you will go to Related Arts. Remember, let me show you that again since it's only our day 2. You have Miss Mosier this week, and there is no Zoom class for Miss Mosier. So you will go to your folders. You will go to Related Arts, and you will see that there is an item here with our schedule for this Related Arts class, along with a video of me explaining what you're doing and the work right here. So remember, there's no Zoom for Miss Mosier's class. So at 1:35, you'll log into that folder. And then at 2:20, I will see you on here for dismissal, okay?